Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on quite an exploration. We're looking into one of humanity's oldest, most persistent questions. Honestly, one of the most captivating ones, too. It's a question that's kind of echoed through, well, every civilization across cultures and probably in your own quiet moments, too. Who created us?
Yeah.
You know, who created the earth, the sun, the moon, this whole incredible universe we're in? And the common answer, the one many of us grew up with, is usually pretty simple. God created everything. For billions, that's it. Foundational, unshakable. But here's where it gets really interesting, where the mind starts digging a bit deeper. That answer, God created everything, it almost instantly sparks like the ultimate follow-up question, the one that really makes you pause. But then, who created God? It's a pretty profound thought, isn't it? I mean, if there's an ultimate architect, where did that architect come from? Is God also created, part of that whole beginning and end thing we understand? Or is God, truly self-existent, just beyond birth and death? No origin. The uncaused cause.
So this deep dive, it's our quest into that very mystery. We're going to explore if God, the ultimate creator, was himself created, or if he stands apart from all creation, eternal, primordial, absolute, and guiding us. We're drawing on some really profound divine knowledge revealed by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj. And this knowledge, it offers a unique way to understand the proofs from, well, all the major holy scriptures. Our mission really is to try and uncover this hidden mystery, to identify this supreme God, the true source, and figure out definitively, did anyone create him? And this isn't just like abstract theology or philosophy for you listening. It's about foundational understanding. It shapes your whole worldview, right? Existence, purpose, reality itself. It's looking for the ultimate truth.
Absolutely, and that search is so critical because, as you said, there's just widespread confusion around this. It's universal, really. Across different religions, people have very distinct, very deeply held beliefs about their creator God. I mean, look at the common beliefs. Hindus often point to Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Trinity, handling creation, preservation, destruction. Muslims firmly believe Allah is the sole creator, one indivisible, created heavens and earth. Christians similarly believe God created heavens and earth, often meaning God the Father. And in Sikhism, Waheguru is revered as the true creator, the timeless one. But here's the thing, despite these different names and beliefs, when you push on that ultimate question, when you ask followers, okay, but who created your God? The answer often gets a bit vague, almost protective, It's usually something like, oh, God was always there. No one created him. And that answer does point to a fundamental truth about an ultimate creator. Such a being must be uncaused, right? But it doesn't solve the critical issue of which God we're actually talking about, especially when different faiths identify different gods as the ultimate one. It leaves this kind of paradox hanging in the air.
Exactly. This is where the plot really thickens, isn't it? And it's where our deep dive aims to bring some crucial clarification. Which God are we actually talking about when we say God was always there? Is it Brahma, Shiva? Is it Allah? Is it Jesus? Or God the Father? Or, and this is the big one, could there be someone truly beyond all of them? An ultimate source, uncreated, that even these powerful figures originate from. That's the central mystery we're diving into. We need to distinguish these different levels of divine beings.
Yes.
And find the one true uncreated source.
Precisely. And our exploration, guided by these insights from Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj and importantly backed up by scriptural evidence. It will help us distinguish between those often seen as creator gods and the singular, truly uncreated supreme being. We're going to find, I think, that some divine figures, hugely powerful, yes, instrumental in creation, definitely, but they are themselves created. They exist within a cosmic structure, while one, just one, remains the ultimate self-existent source. Making that distinction, it's absolutely vital for really grasping the divine hierarchy and, well, the nature of reality itself. It's about telling the difference between, say, the most powerful agents in creation and the one who actually created creation. Big difference.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj offers a very direct answer. Simple, in a way, but profound. And crucially, scriptural. It cuts right through that ambiguity we were just talking about. The revelation is clear. The true God, the supreme God, the creator of all creation, is Kabir Sahib. Now, this isn't just assigning a name. It's identifying a being with specific, unique attributes. Attributes that set him completely apart. According to this knowledge, Kabir Sahib is self-existent, meaning he doesn't depend on anything or anyone else for his existence. He's eternal, no beginning, no end, timeless. He's beyond birth and death, completely outside that cycle that governs everyone else. And the big one, no one created him. Instead, he created everyone and everything, the original source, the prime mover. This puts Kabir Sahib in a totally unique category, distinct from any created deity. He's the ultimate uncaused cause.
Indeed, and the weight of this claim, it's really reinforced by Kabir Sahib's own words, which echo through his divine teachings. He himself says, quite plainly, I am not born from anyone. I am the eternal supreme being. I alone have created the entire universe. Now, that's not just philosophy, is it? It's a direct declaration, absolute existence, ultimate creative power. It answers the origin question head on. He says essentially, I am my own origin and the origin of everything else. It eliminates any possibility of a creator before him. He's established as the ultimate source. And that declaration, coming straight from the source, well, it sets us up perfectly to now look at the scriptural proofs that back this up.
It is a bold claim, though, isn't it, to name a specific individual as the uncreated supreme God. Especially given what other faiths believe about their God being uncreated. And the real power, the real weight of a revelation like this, it has to come from the evidence. It's not just a statement. It's presented as a truth verifiable through the scriptures humanity has revered for ages. So how do we start verifying this? What do these ancient texts actually tell us about an uncreated God? Let's really dig into those scriptures now and see how they line up with this idea.
That's exactly where we need to go. And we'll start with the Vedas. These are widely seen as the oldest scriptures we have, foundational texts for spiritual knowledge, especially in India. Their authority is just immense. And as we'll see, they offer some pretty clear evidence that God is uncreated and eternal. Let's look at specifics. Okay, first, let's turn to the Rig Veda. Specifically, Mandal 10, Sukta 90. It's often called the Purush Sukta. It states, all creation originates from that one supreme being. Now just pause and think about the philosophical heft of that. All creation originates from that one. It's not talking about multiple creators or some kind of cosmic committee. It points straight to a singular ultimate source. Everything springs from that one. The implication, it's profound. If everything originates from that one, then that one can't logically be part of its own creation, right? It has to pre-exist. It has to stand completely outside the cycle of beginning and end. This isn't just about power. It's about metaphysical independence, the ultimate uncaused cause. So for you listening, it means those deep questions about what caused what. They have to eventually lead to a point where the chain stops, where a truly self-existent entity begins. Otherwise, you just keep asking who created that forever. No anchor. Then moving on to the Athar Veda, specifically chapter 4, section 1, verse 7, here we find an even more direct statement about this divine nature, crystal clear. It says that supreme God is immortal, eternal, and self-existent. This verse hits the uncreated aspect right on the head. Immortal, never dying. Eternal, no beginning, no end, perpetual existence beyond time itself, and self-existent, existing independently. Not created, not relying on anything else for its being. This combination, it paints a picture of a being fundamentally different from, well, everything else. Anything with a beginning, inherently it can end, or at least change, right? It's impermanent in some way. But for the Supreme God to be immortal, eternal, and self-existent, that places him utterly beyond creation, destruction, time, space. He's not subject to the laws of his own creation. He is the law of existence, you could say. And one more from the Vedas for now, the Yaj Veda, chapter 5, verse 32. It proclaims, that Supreme God is the controller of all. He alone has the power to destroy evil and protect all creation. This highlights the sheer scale of his authority and power, which in itself implies he's uncreated. To be the controller of all, that means every single aspect of existence, every being, every cosmic process, it's under his domain. It suggests an omnipotence that isn't borrowed or granted, it's inherent. And the power to destroy evil and protect all creation, that speaks to absolute, unchallengeable authority, infinite capacity. Such immense power and control, it reinforces the idea of a complete creator, one who not only starts everything, but sustains and governs it. No help needed, no higher-ups. The scale of that responsibility just screams self-sufficient, and by extension, uncreated. He is the source of power, not someone who received it.
Wow. So pulling that together from these ancient, really foundational texts, the message seems incredibly clear. Consistent, too. The true supreme God was never created. He's the ultimate starting point, the self-existent, eternal source. He alone kicked everything off, created it all, set up the whole framework of existence. That's quite a testament to a singular, independent, all-powerful being right there in the Vedas.
Absolutely. And this idea, this concept of a supreme, uncreated source, it's not just in the Vedas. If we shift to the Bhagavad Gita, another hugely reviewed Hindu scripture, we find Lord Krishna revealing some really profound secrets that elaborate on this hierarchy of existence. It's almost like a map of spiritual reality. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verses 16 and 17, Lord Krishna makes this crucial distinction. He explains there are basically two main types of beings in the world, and then points to a third, even higher category. It's like a cosmic hierarchy. Think of it like a celestial org chart, maybe. First, he talks about perishable beings. The term is Krishar Purush, and this category includes figures like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and all other deities too. Now, for many listeners, this might be, well, kind of revolutionary, maybe even radical. What does it mean if even revered gods are called perishable? It means they are bound by birth and death, just like other created things, though maybe on a vastly different timescale than us humans. This is a critical difference. It suggests they are not the ultimate uncreated source. Their existence, however long, isn't truly eternal in the absolute sense. This immediately makes you question their status as the ultimate creator, because a truly ultimate creator wouldn't perish, wouldn't be in that cycle. They're hugely powerful, yes, important figures in the cosmic system, but not its ultimate origin. Second, Krishna mentions imperishable beings. The term is Akshar Purush. This refers to the long-living Brahm, sometimes called Par-Brahm. Now, imperishable sounds like eternal, doesn't it? But the Gita makes a subtle but really important distinction here. These beings are long-living. They exist for immense stretches of time, way beyond our comprehension. They're not as easily perishable as Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. However, long-living isn't quite the same as eternal in the absolute meaning. It implies a duration that, while massive, might still have a theoretical beginning or at least an underlying source. Think of them like, I don't know, super long-serving CEOs in our cosmic org chart. They last for ages, through cosmic cycles, but they're still not ultimately beyond the scope of creation or recreation in the grandest scheme. So superior to the perishable beings, yes, but still not the final uncreated source. But then the Gita reveals the highest truth. It identifies the ultimate authority. But beyond both is a third one, the supreme being, the Paramakshar Purush. That supreme God is higher than all, and he is the creator of everyone. This hierarchical structure is absolutely vital for our deep dive. It means there's a being even above the imperishable Brahm, a long-living CEO figure. This third one, this supreme being, he is the ultimate true creator even of the imperishable Brahm, and definitely of the perishable Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. This being alone is truly uncreated, eternal, the ultimate source. The founder of the whole cosmic enterprise, existing completely independent of it all.
And the Gita doesn't just lay out this incredible hierarchy, does it? It also gives us a path, a practical guide on how to actually engage with this ultimate truth. Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 62 says, "Surrender to that supreme God, by whose grace you will attain supreme peace and the eternal abode." It's not a call to surrender to just any deity, right? Or any of the powerful figures within the created order. It's specifically surrendered to that supreme God, the Paramakshar Purush, the one higher than all others. It implies that real, ultimate peace, true liberation, that eternal abode can only come from the being who is truly eternal and supreme, the ultimate source. Because only he exists outside the very cycle you're trying to escape from.
And what's really fascinating here, connecting it all back, is how this framework points directly to the central revelation we started with. God, Kabir, is identified as that supreme being, uncreated, eternal. Above everyone else, including Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Gita's layers, perishable, imperishable, and then the ultimate supreme being, they align perfectly with this understanding that Kabir Sahib is that highest uncreated source, the Paramakshar Purush, the one who created even the highest deities most people know. It's not just theory, it's like a scriptural map pointing to the true creator, offering clarity for anyone seeking ultimate liberation.
Okay, let's broaden our view again. Let's shift focus to another foundational scripture, one revered by billions globally, the Holy Bible. It's fascinating how, when you look at it through this lens we're developing, it really seems to echo similar truths. It confirms this nature of an uncreated, everlasting creator. We can start right at the very beginning, Genesis 1:1. It powerfully declares, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." That verse is so potent. Simple, yet the implication is huge. It establishes God as the absolute starting point, the origin before anything else was there. In the beginning, that signifies a point where nothing existed, and then God acted. Which means God himself existed before any creation. He wasn't brought into being. He is existence itself, the primordial force. He is not part of the created universe. He's the agent who kicked it all off. That's a critical philosophical point, isn't it? It affirms his uncreated status by placing him as the prerequisite for everything else. He doesn't have a beginning in time because he created time itself. Then if we jump over to Isaiah 40:28, it illuminates God's nature even more with just breathtaking clarity.
Do you not know? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. This verse gives us two absolutely critical attributes. First, everlasting God. This lines up perfectly with being uncreated, an everlasting being. No beginning, no end, perpetual self-sustaining existence. It's not bound by time because it predates and transcends time. The whole concept of everlasting implies an infinite past and future. Qualities a created being just can't have. Second, that phrase, "he does not faint or grow weary." That's profound. It implies an infinite source of power, energy, wisdom. Think about it. Anything created, no matter how powerful, would eventually run down, get tired, have limits. but an uncreated, self-sustaining being. It has an infinite, inexhaustible wellspring of power and existence. This lack of weariness is like a hallmark of a being whose very nature is existence, not a being given existence. It shows a capacity beyond anything created. It cements his role as the ultimate, uncaused creator.
Yes, the Bible consistently confirms this view. God is everlasting, eternal, uncreated. He himself is the original, tireless creator of everything, existing before all things, sustaining all things. There's no mention of him being created or having a beginning. Rather, he's portrayed as the ultimate I am, the source of all being. And this aligns perfectly with the understanding of the supreme God as self-existent, beyond all forms of creation. His nature is boundless energy, infinite wisdom, never diminishing, always capable, always the source. These attributes, they're really universal descriptions of the ultimate uncreated God, regardless of the specific name used in different traditions. So, continuing our journey through the scriptures, let's transition now to the Holy Quran. It also offers profound descriptions of Allah's uncreated nature, descriptions that resonate strongly with the truths we've been uncovering about the ultimate creator. Many people, of course, associate Allah with being the ultimate uncreated being, and the Quran certainly describes an ultimate creator with exactly these qualities. Look at Surah Furqan, verse 25.59. It states, "It is Allah who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and then he established himself on the throne." This verse is quite revealing. The act of creating the heavens and the earth in 6 days, that clearly positions Allah as the active originating force, the prime mover. He initiated all of creation. But the phrase that follows, "and then he established himself on the throne," that's particularly insightful for our question. It implies existence before this act of creation. He was already there, already existing, before the heavens and earth were even conceived or made. His establishment on the throne isn't the start of his existence. It's more like an affirmation of his sovereignty after creation. It shows he's the pre-existing, eternal ruler of his own creation. He doesn't pop into being with creation, he oversees it as its sovereign. This strongly reinforces the idea of an uncreated being who precedes and orchestrates everything. And further, Surah Yasin, verse 36.81, it poses this rhetorical question and then gives a powerful affirmation. Is not he who created the heavens and the earth able to create the likes of them? Yes, indeed, he is the all-knowing creator. This verse really emphasizes Allah's boundless capability and his omniscient nature as the ultimate creator. The question itself underlines the absolute power, the unchallenged ability of Allah to be able to create not just this universe, but the likes of them. That speaks to an infinite creative capacity, no limits. And the affirmation, he is the all-knowing creator, that highlights his omniscience. He knows every detail, every design, every purpose. From the tiniest particle to the biggest galaxy. This combination, ultimate power and complete knowledge, it's characteristic of a being that isn't created itself, but is the source, the wellspring of all creation, wisdom, and power. A created being, no matter how powerful, would always have limits, right? Limits to knowledge, limits to capability. But Allah, as the all-knowing creator described here, stands alone as the uncreated ultimate source.
So these verses from the Quran, they provide really compelling evidence too, that the true Allah, the supreme creator described, was never created himself. He's the ultimate prime mover. The uncaused God who existed before creation, started it, and keeps it going with infinite knowledge and power. The descriptions of his boundless power, his pre-existence, they align perfectly with the attributes of the ultimate uncreated God we're trying to pin down.
Exactly. And now, to kind of bring our scriptural review full circle, let's turn to the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the holy scripture of Sikhism. This scripture also offers profound evidence supporting this concept of an uncreated supreme truth. And remarkably, it even directly identifies that truth. Right at the opening of the Guru Granth Sahib, in Japji Sahib, we find the iconic Mool Mantar. It includes this profound statement, Ad Sakh, Jugad Sakh, Haibi Sakh, Nana Kosi Sakh. Let's break that down, because the meaning is incredibly powerful and directly relevant to our search for the uncreated. It translates essentially to, the supreme truth was there in the beginning, is there now, and will remain forever. This just captures eternality and self-existence in the most complete way possible. Ad Sakh, true in the very beginning before creation. Jugad Sakh, true through all the ages, all the epochs. Haibi Sakh, true right now in this present moment, sustaining everything. And Nanakosi Sakh, Nanak says, it will remain true forever, into the infinite future, beyond any dissolution. This describes a being whose existence isn't tied to time or cosmic cycles at all. This supreme truth isn't created because it exists before, during, and after all creation. Completely independent. Its existence, the eternal ground of all being. But here's what's truly extraordinary for our deep dive, and it really acts like a capstone on all the scriptural evidence we've looked at. It's the direct, explicit identification found in the Guru Granth Sahib on Ang 870. It unequivocally states, Kabir, You are the supreme God without beginning or end. Now, this isn't an inference, it's not an interpretation, it's a direct address. It identifies Kabir Sahib with the very attributes we've been seeking in an uncreated God. Without beginning or end, that is the literal definition of eternal and uncreated. It solidifies the truth that Kabir Sahib is that ultimate Param Akshar Purush, the supreme being who is the source of all, but himself has no source. It is just a monumental revelation. It puts a specific name to that abstract concept of the ultimate uncreated source, confirming his identity right there within one of the world's major scriptures.
Wow, yeah, that is powerful. A direct identification from the Guru Granth Sahib, Kabir Sahib, as the eternal, uncreated, supreme God. It really feels like a profound confirmation. It takes those universal descriptions of an uncreated being we found in other scriptures and attributes them directly to Kabir Sahib. That brings tremendous clarity to our search, doesn't it? So, okay, let's try to distill this. What's the core message from looking at all this scriptural evidence? We've seen consistent proof across traditions for an uncreated supreme being, a singular source, eternal, beyond birth and death. But this brings us right back to that initial confusion we started with. What about the gods many people worship every day? What about Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva? What about other deities, other spiritual figures revered everywhere? Where do they fit into this picture, this profound hierarchy of existence that seems to culminate in the uncreated Kabir Sahib? This is where understanding the true structure of creation becomes absolutely vital, I think.
It is. This is precisely where Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj's explanation of the hierarchy of creation becomes so critical for clarity. It helps us navigate this, well, complex landscape of divine beings. He explains that the supreme God, Kabir Sahib, the one we've identified as uncreated and eternal, he created a very powerful entity, an entity called Kal Brahm. Now, to give some context for Kalab's nature and role, he's sometimes referred to as a kind of Satan-like figure, not literally Satan, but similar in his deceptive nature and his role in keeping souls trapped within his realm. In the Gita, chapter 11, verse 32, this being actually declares, "Ain Kal, destroyer of worlds." That gives you a clear sense of his significant power, but also its destructive and limited nature. He's not the ultimate creator. He's a powerful but created entity with a specific, vast domain. Now, from this Kal Brahm, in turn, came Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. This is such a crucial distinction. These three deities, so widely worshipped, considered the cosmic trinity in Hinduism, responsible for creation, preservation, destruction. They are not the ultimate uncreated supreme God. Instead, they are created entities. Powerful beings, yes, but with specific delegated roles. They manage these huge cosmic processes, but only within the confines of the 21 universes that are under the dominion of Kal Brahm. Think of them like high-ranking administrators, or powerful governors, maybe, responsible for vast functions, but still operating under a higher authority, Kal Brahm. And Kal Brahm himself, who's created by Kabir Sahib. This clearly positions Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva as created beings with specific jobs, limited functions. They are not the ultimate uncreated source of everything. Their powers, immense as they seem to us, are delegated. They operate within a defined cosmic structure, not outside it. But remember this crucial point, and it's one that really sets this teaching apart. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are not eternal in the absolute sense. They are perishable, meaning their existence, however vast it seems, spanning cosmic ages. It has a beginning and an end within the cycles of time, and, importantly, for anyone seeking liberation. Because they are themselves created and perishable, they cannot grant ultimate salvation. They can't grant freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Why? Because they are part of the very cosmic system you'd be seeking liberation from. This is fundamental. They were created. Kabir Sahib was not created. This hierarchy just underscores that only Kabir Sahib is beyond time, beyond death, beyond creation itself. He is the ultimate self-existent source. While everyone else, no matter how powerful or spiritually significant they seem, is part of the created order.
Right, okay. Now for the next layer. That truly clarifies it. Only Kabir Sahib is beyond time, death, creation itself. He's the ultimate source. And that distinction is so vital because it fundamentally shifts our understanding of where ultimate power lies, and crucially where ultimate liberation comes from. If even the powerful Trinity Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are created, perishable beings, then the quest for ultimate truth, for spiritual freedom, it has to lead us to the one who is truly uncreated and eternal, the one who stands outside this whole cosmic system. And to really solidify this understanding, our deep dive takes us to a specific point in human history, a time when Kabir Sahib actually manifested on Earth, offering tangible proof, you could say, of his uncreated supreme nature. He appeared in Kashi, India, modern-day Varanasi, back in the year 1398. And he wasn't hidden away or only accessible to a few. He was out there openly, publicly, didn't arrive with a big fanfare either. He lived as a simple weaver, seemingly ordinary. But this humble appearance, it was just a cover for a really profound revolutionary mission, to reveal the true knowledge of the Supreme God to humanity, challenging all the established beliefs and traditions of the time.
Exactly. And during his time on Earth, Kabir Sahib performed countless divine miracles. These weren't just, magic tricks for show. They were powerful demonstrations of his absolute divine authority, his power, specifically designed to prove that he is the supreme God, the uncreated creator. For instance, he was known to bring the dead back to life. Famously, a cow, and also a boy named Kamal, acts far beyond any ordinary human or even a powerful saint. He could cure incurable diseases instantly, restore sight to the blind, bring prosperity where there was poverty. These were public events, verifiable. They astonished the masses and completely baffled the religious leaders back then. And even more profoundly, he made explicit, unequivocal declarations about who he was, stating openly, "I am the eternal God. No one created me. I myself created all beings, the universe, and even the gods you worship." But these weren't like vague philosophical ideas. They were direct, unambiguous statements, challenging everything people believed then and still challenging today. He didn't hold back. He asserted his absolute sovereignty, his creative power over everything, including the deities many saw as ultimate.
And it wasn't just words and miracles witnessed by his followers, right? These weren't just claims made in a quiet corner. When his teaching started gaining traction, they inevitably attracted scrutiny, opposition, established priests, mullahs, even powerful rulers like Sikandar Lodhi, the Sultan of Delhi at the time. They tested him rigorously. I mean, imagine the sheer courage, the conviction it would take to make claims like that, not just to your followers, but to the most powerful religious and political figures around. The Sultan, Sikandar Lodhi, a devout Muslim, challenged Kabir Sahib multiple times, even tried to have him executed. But each time, Kabir Sahib openly revealed his divine powers in ways that just defied natural law, turning what looked like defeat into triumph. Like when he was thrown into the Ganga River, tied with heavy stones, he just miraculously floated ashore. When they tried to burn his hut down, he appeared unharmed somewhere else. These were public, undeniable displays of divine power under intense pressure that gives immense weight to his declarations. He faced skepticism, opposition, severe tests, and through it all, he proved his identity as the supreme God. He wasn't just teaching. He was demonstrating an unchallengeable truth, a living testament to his uncreated nature.
Absolutely. So through both his words and his actions, through his direct declarations and his open display of divine power, especially when challenged, he proved it. Proved that the eternal, uncreated God is Kabir himself, manifested right here on earth. His life here wasn't just about spiritual teaching, it was a living testament to the existence and identity of the Supreme God, offering really irrefutable evidence for those willing to look and understand. He didn't just point to the truth, he embodied it, providing a historical anchor for all those scriptural revelations we've been discussing. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is the spiritual lesson that starts to emerge when you really reflect on all this evidence. Evidence gathered from diverse scriptures, historical accounts, the implications are profound. You have to understand that all other gods, deities, angels, spiritual leaders, whoever people worship or revere, they were themselves created by someone. They are, as we saw clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, bound by the cycle of birth and death, or at least by a cosmic lifespan that, however long it seems, isn't truly eternal in the absolute sense. This places them firmly within a created system, which implies they are not the ultimate source of liberation from that system. They have roles, yes, powers, significance, absolutely, but they are not the uncreated ultimate authority. They can't grant permanent freedom from the very cycle they themselves are part of.
But, and this is the core point we've explored through Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj's teachings, verified with all the scriptural proofs, Kabir Sahib, the Supreme God, was never created. He is eternal, self-existent, the prime mover, and this is absolutely crucial for you, our listener. He alone can grant ultimate salvation. Why does this distinction matter so profoundly to you? Well, it's not just some theological detail, is it? It's about your ultimate spiritual liberation. If all other beings, no matter how divine or powerful they seem, are part of a created system, they cannot ultimately free you from that system. Only the one who created the system, the one who exists entirely outside of it, can grant true and eternal freedom, a permanent escape from the cycle of birth and death, the attainment of real, lasting peace. This makes correctly identifying the Supreme God not just some academic exercise, but maybe the most deeply personal and transformative quest of your life.
Precisely. And the beauty of this revelation, as presented, is that the Holy Scriptures of all religions, when they're properly understood, interpreted with divine insight, they contain these hidden truths, truths that, once illuminated, clearly identify Kabir Sahib as that supreme being. And Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj hasn't only revealed who the supreme God is, he has also provided the practical application. The true worship needed to connect with him and actually attain this ultimate liberation. This path involves receiving initiation from a complete saint, a true spiritual guide who embodies this correct knowledge, and then sincerely reciting his true mantras, specifically Satnam and Saranam, the ultimate goal of the spiritual practice, to attain complete liberation, to break free from that endless cycle of birth and death, and to achieve eternal peace in the true, eternal abode of the Supreme God, a realm far beyond these 21 universes ruled by Kal Brahm.
Which raises a really important question for all of us, doesn't it? If true liberation, true peace, true understanding, if it all comes from an uncreated eternal being, then figuring out who that being is becomes the most critical quest imaginable. It goes beyond different religions, different traditions, doesn't it? It gets right to the very core of our spiritual journey. It's about finding the ultimate source of truth and salvation. Not just a temporary fix. It's about ending the cycle for good. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for us after this pretty profound journey? We started this deep dive with humanity's biggest, most fundamental question: who created God? And through exploring the divine revelation shared by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj and looking at the ancient wisdom in Holy Scriptures, from the Vedas, the Gita, the Bible, the Quran, the Guru Granth Sahib, we've arrived at a definitive, clear answer presented by this knowledge. The Supreme God, Kabir Sahib, was not created by anyone. He is eternal, self-existent, utterly beyond birth and death. He stands as the singular ultimate source of absolutely everything. And just to reiterate that hierarchical understanding we built it.
All other powers, all other divine beings, including those revered as creators and controllers like Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the ultimate deity Allah as understood in Islam, even figures like Jesus and the Father God in Christianity. They all hold significant positions, wield immense powers, yes, but critically, according to this teaching, they were all created by him. By Kabir Sahib, they are part of the created order, existing within a cosmic structure designed and overseen by the ultimate, uncreated creator.
And connecting this to the bigger picture for you, our listener, the implications are clear, profound, really. Therefore, to truly know the truth, to genuinely escape from that painful, seemingly endless cycle of birth and death, and to achieve eternal peace, one must surrender to the eternal Supreme God Kabir. Now, this isn't presented as just a suggestion. It's put forth as the definitive path to ultimate liberation, robustly backed, as we've seen, by scriptural evidence across diverse traditions. This is presented as the final truth revealed by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, offering a way out of this cosmic entanglement and into true, unending freedom.
So as you reflect on everything we've covered in this deep dive, maybe consider this. If the search for a creator ultimately leads us to an uncreated source, a being who is both the beginning and the end, yet has no beginning or end, himself, what does that realization mean for our own understanding of existence, of purpose, of the very nature of ultimate reality? What new questions does this answer spark within you about your own path, the path to true liberation, and your place in this vast divine creation? We invite you to ponder these truths and perhaps begin your own even deeper quest. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.